Defend yourself against DDoS attacks by hiding your true IP address with ExpressVPN, and visit my custom link expressvpn.com/ghilliemaster in the description to find out how you can get an extra 3 months free. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another GTA Online video here on the channel. So do you guys remember a couple months before this year's summer DLC was released, I made a video talking about a UI change to the websites that I thought would be nice to have? And the main part of that video was my concept of having a tab to showcase the discounted vehicles each week without having to scroll down through the entire website to see all the vehicles that were on sale that week. You would simply just select the discounted filter on the website and it would then show you all the vehicles that are on sale back to back, which would be such a useful feature to have with tons and tons of DLC content available over the years that has kind of clogged up the websites. Well, in the summer DLC, we actually did get an update to the in-game websites, or at least a couple of the in-game websites, but in my opinion, the same problems still persist, and in some cases, it might even be worse than it was before. So looking at Legendary Motorsport here, the way they have it set up is there are now 5 categories of vehicles to choose from, and there are a few problems that I have with this still, and I just overall don't think this really solves the problem that we had before with having to scroll through tons and tons of vehicles to find the one you're looking for, as well as finding which ones are discounted easier. The default tab that will always be selected when entering the website is the feature tab, and this one basically displays the newest content in the game. So right now, the last vehicle to release on Legendary Motorsport was the 10F, so that one appears right here, first up. And it even goes as far as the Ignis from the contract update. But honestly, I feel this category is kind of pointless because before this change to the website, by default, it would just display the newest vehicles to release first without even having a tab. The website was always organized to show the vehicles from newest to oldest in terms of when they released, so really, this isn't much of an improvement at all. And for the other categories, I feel they're just way too vague. Motorcycles are fine because there really aren't that many motorcycles in the game, but splitting it up between 2-door and 4-door really doesn't do a whole lot. If anything, let's just say, hypothetically, it takes scrolling through 150 vehicles at a time, down to like 75 per category, assuming there are like an even amount of 2-door and 4-door vehicles on the website. Which I know there aren't, but just speaking hypothetically. And in the case of finding vehicles that are discounted, splitting them up almost makes it harder to find them all because Rockstar usually has vehicles that released in the same DLC on discount together. But if there are 4-door and 2-door vehicles both on sale from the same DLC, instead of before where you just go down and see all of them on sale at the same area, both 2-door and 4-door, you now have to scroll all the way down in the 2-door section and then do the same thing in the 4-door section. And as you guys are seeing here, it is still such a long scroll to get to the bottom of the 2-door section because there are just so many 2-door vehicles. It's not as long for the 4-door since there aren't as many 4-door vehicles on Legendary. And then we have a special category which only right now displays 4 vehicles, which are the open wheel cars. So to sum it up, we have 2 categories which only display a small number of vehicles, and then we have the massive 2-door category which doesn't really do much to make the website more user-friendly because there's still a ton of vehicles in that section. So what I think a better solution to this would be is to, by default, have the website show every single car because that would display the newest cars first, and then you wouldn't need a whole featured category to do just that. And then since the featured category wouldn't be there, you could replace that with the discounted category, and if you click on that, it would display all the cars that are on discount each event week, which would be a whole lot more useful to players each week looking to buy new vehicles instead of the featured tab. The categories can stay how they are, honestly, aside from taking away the featured that I already mentioned. I do understand the need for the special category to display open wheel cars and to kind of future-proof it if they ever plan on adding more to that class or maybe any other wacky cars to the website. But what should be added is a way to filter by car class. So if you click 2-door, for example, and then the sort by tab, you should be able to sort by more than just the price. I should be able to show only supercars if I want to, or only sports cars, or coupes. That alone would do a lot of the heavy lifting to eliminate the endless scrolling there seems to be. Or if they wanted to get really fancy, they could even include a price range that we could filter by like an actual dealership website would have. But being able to split up the cars between 2-door and 4-door and then further split them up into their separate car classes on top of having that discounted tab to quickly view what's on sale that week would be a massive overhaul to Legendary Motorsport here. If I'm looking for a supercar to buy, I don't want to be forced to see all of the 2-door sports cars at the same time. It's just way too much clutter. There's definitely a better way they could organize this. And moving on over to Southern San Andreas Super Autos here, this one is arguably even more of a mess because we have even more categories than Legendary Motorsport, and it suffers from the same problems that Legendary does, except it's got even more issues. And one of the things that's really annoying about how the websites are designed now is that some of the categories you think would overlap, but they don't. Let me give you an example. Let's say I'm trying to find the iWagon, which is an SUV. You would think that, oh, it's a 4-door vehicle, I'll go there and try to find it. Well, you won't find it there. Where you will find it is in the luxury category. So even though it's a 4-door vehicle, you can only find it in the luxury category for some reason. And the same goes for things like the Camacho. That is also a 4-door vehicle, but it's only in the off-road category, which can throw you off a lot of the time. Some of the vehicles that can apply to multiple categories only appear in one of the 2 categories they apply to. Also, I'm not quite sure why the Festival Bus is in the luxury category instead of the special category, but anyways. The way to make this one better is by, once again, getting rid of the feature tab and just by default displaying all the vehicles on the website in the order of the DLC they came out in, which will always put the new vehicles at the top, which is the entire idea of the feature tab. And in place of the featured, you once again would have a discounted tab to display all the vehicles on sale that week. And then, in my opinion, just get rid of luxury and leave the 2-door and 4-door options as well as off-road, and even keep special just for future-proofing if they want to add other strange vehicles that don't fit in any other categories. And finally, just like what we talked about with Legendary Motorsport, just allow us to further filter the vehicles by vehicle class, which I guess means they could also get rid of off-road since that is also a vehicle class, and then they could just leave the tabs as discounted, 2-door, 4-door, motorcycles, and special, which would be identical to Legendary at that point. But the important part is letting us sort by vehicle class after we pick a 2-door or 4-door category. I think that would be a massive improvement. Now, what about Warstock? Warstock, unlike Legendary and Southern San Andreas, did not get a revamp with the summer update, so I made one myself utilizing the same kind of design as the other websites now have. So before the changes, it would look like what you see in game now, where it just displays everything in order from the DLC it came out in, starting with these service vehicles like the Terabyte, Kasatka, that kind of thing. And with my concept, the website would now have 6 categories you can sort by, those being discounted, planes, helicopters, land, service, and other. Or I guess they could rename that one to special if they really wanted to. Discounted would show the vehicles that are on sale each week, which are currently the Ghillie, the Volatile, and the Akula during this event, amongst a few others which don't display on the screen because I'd have to scroll down. But you'd be able to find all of them very easily by just clicking on this tab. Planes would obviously show you only planes. Helicopters would only show helis. Land vehicles would show things like tanks, cars, which I don't think would be too big of a deal because there really aren't that many land vehicles on the Warstock website. It's just that when it's combined with all the planes and the helicopters and all the other vehicles, it seems like it's very cluttered. Then next to land is the service section. This will display all of the service vehicles, and they could even go a step further than this and include things like the armored truck or the fire truck in this category, because those are service vehicles. And finally, the other or special section would display anything that doesn't fit in any of the other categories, which are boats, the Oppressor Mark II, and maybe the Mark I, the ballistic armor, those kind of things. I don't really think boats need their own category since we have so little. I just feel that would be a waste of its own category. So I think pairing them up inside of like an other category would be the smart move there. But I do think this revamp would be very helpful for the player when they're trying to go find a vehicle they want on the website. And I really can't stress enough just the discounted tab. If anything is taken away from this video, just make a discounted tab. It would be so helpful. Like the fact that the best way to see all the discounts each week is to go on your real computer or real life phone and go to the Rockstar Newswire to see them all listed is just kind of silly. Or you have to spend 5 minutes just like scrolling down the in-game website to find them all. I doubt any changes will be made considering they already changed the websites, but hey, maybe we will get a revamp to the Warstock website sometime in the future, which would be very helpful, you know? Let me know what you guys think about the websites after their updates that happened in the summer DLC. Do you think they could still use some work? And what do you think about my concept of the Warstock revamp as well? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, feel free to leave a like as well as subscribe to my channel for more GTA Online content. I want to give a huge shout out to all my channel members for your support. If you'd like to become a member for some exclusive perks, you can either use the join button or the link that's down in the description. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.